Okay, so I'm here in Uluwatu still. I'm actually not here when I'm uploading this video. I've already pre-recorded this video for you guys in advance because I'm attending a Tony Robbins Date with Destiny, his big event. It is 13 hours a day. It is 6 days straight. And because of the time zone difference here in Bali, it starts at midnight. So I'm literally up from about midnight to 2 p.m. for the next 6 days. So I thought I'd pre-record this and have it edited actually. Hopefully, I didn't edit this during it. And yeah, I hope this video kind of helps you out. What I really want to help you do is for people who are like, I don't know if Bali's for me, I'm not sure if Bali's calling me. I want to just give you some signs. I want to give you 3 signs that Bali is waiting for you. Bali is going to welcome you, and you will be welcomed here in Bali. 3 signs. Oh, and not only the 3 signs, but the 3 reasons why these are the signs. And actually, I'm gonna do that kind of right here in this area. Selamat pagi. Now, I don't know if this place is open, but it looked like a nice place to film and also show you how beautiful it is here in Uluwatu. Look at this. Okay, so I'd have to say the #1 sign that Bali is waiting for you and Bali's welcoming you, if you feel like you kind of just don't fit in. Like if you kind of feel like where you grew up, this isn't really for you, like you don't really feel like you belong there, so to speak, and you've been just trying to fit in and you've been kind of just like wearing a mask, and more importantly, you feel like you just recognize that you're wearing a mask, then I feel like Bali is waiting for you. I feel like Bali and all the people that I met, even for me, that we all kind of had this similar thought, like there has to be more, like I know there's something else I can do. Is there a place where I can really find myself? Where can I not be judged by this culture that I've been raised in? And this is nothing against any culture, but Bali they just welcome you. You feel so much like you want to be yourself. You know, one thing that you see is a lot of people wearing no shoes here and doing all this kind of stuff, and it's not to put on this facade because everyone else does it, but when you get here, you don't feel that judgment, especially if you're coming from Western society, or that need to fit in, or that need to, everyone just comes and they just kind of be themselves. And I think Bali does a great job of that. There's so many ways, like, I mean, even for this, it allows you, it takes away a lot of things that you'd worry about. So for all my people, if you're living in a place where it's really cold, like you don't worry about that here. I mean, it does rain though, I will tell you that. But when it comes to even for eating and staying places, all this stuff, like the worries go down because you can just go for a scooter ride. You can just go down to the beach and you get that vibe off of the local people. Everyone just kind of, they're not worried about anything. Half the time you go by, you're gonna see people just maybe laying somewhere here on their phone with no shoes on, and you're just like, it's all good. Like anyone who's been to Bali, you can't even begin to, I'm sure you can imagine how many crazy things you've seen on a scooter if you think about it, because no one really cares, and no one's really gonna judge you. Like it just doesn't feel like the people here do that, and that's such a freeing feeling, being away from that judgment, no matter what that comes from. But here it just feels like you can just be yourself, you're accepted, you're loved. And this is, I believe, the reason why the people who come here, they never leave. And for all of you who have been here, you've been waiting to come back. And I say the #2 sign that Bali is calling you, Bali's waiting for you, that you should be here, is if you kind of feel like you've just needed to like have a reset button. Like if you felt like you needed to have like a reset button, like in just your mind and your life and all this kind of stuff, Bali's the place for it. It's almost like you're leaving all the crazy, I mean this in a nice way, from Western society, or actually I don't mean it in any kind of way actually, is like you're just ready for kind of peace, to just kind of wake up when you want to kind of do your thing. And most people work online or do something like this, so when they're here, they're just kind of just like, there's no pressure. Like that's one thing I don't feel. I don't feel any pressure when I was here in Bali, like that pressure you feel in Western society, even if you don't have to do anything that day. Like if you don't have to do anything that day, you know, when you're like, oh, I have my day free, and you end up doing more things on your day free than you do on the days when you have a lot planned. Here, there's none of that. Here, I just feel, and I think many people, you feel super chill, you feel super relaxed, and because of that, your mind almost becomes clearer instantly. I mean, a place like this is a restaurant or cafe, whatever you want to call it, you'd come here for a coffee that would cost you, I don't know, definitely most likely less than $1. And you'd have this view right here. And you stay here. You could sit down there in that restaurant there, the ones that are on the waterfront. This one that's right here, where I've actually been to, this is actually a really nice one. You could do that, and you could stay there all day just staring out of the water, and you wouldn't, there's no pressure. There's local people, they sit around. You'll see the people here, the locals, they sit around, they relax, that's their culture. So you fit right in, and not even fit in, you can just belong here. You can be yourself, because Brene Brown says, and I totally agree with this definition, that fitting in is the opposite of belonging. And everyone wants to belong somewhere. I want to belong somewhere. I created a place that I can belong, and I created a place where my channel, you guys being here, my community, the people around me, all of you are always welcome here. I don't care where you're from, what your beliefs, anything. Like, I love having a table full of diverse people with diverse beliefs and diverse backgrounds, diverse, all these kind of things, because it allows you to just really just to be yourself and learn. And I feel like when you don't have that pressure to do anything, you can just kind of just be yourself and figure out who that is. And I think that's the third thing, the third sign that Bali's calling you. And I'd say that third sign is that you want to figure out who you are. Now, I'd say definitely take one of my programs. I would tell you guys to work with me. You could fill out an application below. That's the first thing I'd say, and we could really clear up a lot of things. But Bali's a perfect place to do it as well. Coming here, it allows you to figure yourself out. And more importantly, to figure out who you are. It sounds crazy because we're like, oh, I know who I am. And you're like, I'm like, okay, who are you? I'm this person from this place. Like, well, who are you? What do you actually really love? What did you love as a kid? Do you still like those things? You know, I'm a firm believer that the things that you were told not to do as a child, that's your greatest strength. That's what I believe. I truly believe this. I was always told that I wandered the halls too much. I've made videos about that. They're like, what are you doing going to this bathroom outside? There's a bathroom outside the class. Why do you walk all the way to the other side of the school to go? Because I wanted to walk. I wanted to wander. I wanted to move around and travel. The next thing they told me about is I was always talking. I was always talking. That's what I got in trouble for. Can you believe that? And now I do podcasts every other day. I do videos here. I'm doing coaching. I do group coachings coming up in January. So many different things. And that was one of my greatest gifts. And what happens is we suppress that. And when we suppress it, we suppress our gifts. You know, because I believe it's the things that we were told, like I say, not to do, that was our strengths. That's what we were drawn to do. As a kid, you don't think like, I'm gonna be a talker today. You just do it because that's what you wanna do. And I think that we lose that over time through conditioning and through all these kind of exterior sources and fear of people's judgments, fear of that we're not gonna be loved or loved, and we lose that. And I think Bali's that place where it resets it, because you don't have that conditioning. It's not even because it's a new place. I've been to new places where you can go to this country, no one knows you, you could act crazy and do your thing and come home and everyone still loves you. But here, they just accept you and love you. You don't feel that judgment, so you can just always be yourself. It just becomes a way of being. And I think that that's one of the most powerful things of Bali, and why people are like, Luke, when are you leaving? It's like, well, why am I gonna leave? Like, what's my point of leaving? You know, I've been able to find myself here. I've been able to not have the pressure. I've been able to really reflect on a lot of things and discover like what are the things that, or almost like rediscover myself, which I think that you'll do when you come to Bali, is you'll rediscover yourself and not learn new things and new skills. That doesn't really work, because you're putting it on top of an old pattern. You're on top of an old pattern, on top of an old programming, so you're still gonna have the same problems. It allows you to unlearn what you have learned, so you can just become yourself. When you take away all the conditioning, you become yourself naturally by doing it. It's not about what you have to do to become this next version of yourself. It's who do you have to be to become that. And this is what I feel like Bali like amplifies when you're here, if you're willing to. Because Mama Bali seems to take care of all who are willing and able and open-minded to allow that to happen. And that's the key, allow. And I guess this is more of like a little mini coaching session. I'll actually have one later, but this is more so just to know that it's a sign that Bali is calling you. Bali's waiting. And I hope that this motivates you, and not even motivates, because motivation goes away really quickly. I hope this inspires you and leaves some kind of seed in your mind to think like, what he's saying does work with me. That makes perfect sense. I actually would like to go down there and have a coffee and just relax and stare out at the water for a couple hours. Because you can do that and you'll be loved just the same. You won't be judged, and actually I'm sure the local people will come over and enjoy talking with you. So Have you got your flight to Bali yet? And I will say on that note, if you guys are curious to coming to Bali, if I can ever help out, reach out to me on Instagram. As you guys know, I do the 1-hour Zoom calls with you guys, which is it's really fun. It was totally not what I expected, but it's really awesome. You can reach out to me, those 1-hour calls where I can answer your questions, give you any kind of clarity, direction. Those are $111, and they need to kind of be scheduled in advance. And as I'm recording this, I can't take any of the next couple days because I'm in Tony Robbins' event, but drop me an email. We can schedule something once I'm back kind of online. But this Date with Destiny, I'm super excited. Like, I'm not there yet. It starts tomorrow, but I'm feeling the energy right now that I'm like, oh my goodness, like I'm so excited for this. But Bali's calling you. If Bali's calling you, then I'll see you soon. And thank you for being here. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys who support me. You all who contribute to my channel. I tell you guys all the time, it means the world to me. It allows me to do so much and to reach so many more people and to do it in such a more efficient and effective way. So I thank you guys so much for that. And on that note, from here in Uluwatu, well, I say Uluwatu, but actually I am in a Tony Robbins event. I will wish you guys all a great day, morning, evening, afternoon, wherever you are in the world. Speak to you all later. And everyone, always remember to work hard, be brave, and don't forget to smile. Ciao.